Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist congregation of Terre, Haute. This congregation welcomes all people, regardless of their age, religion, race, nationality, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, or anything else that has been used to divide people. We are a group of people with our own opinions, our own ideas, our own dreams. But we share ideals. We share a common belief in a liberal religion. In our discussions, we may disagree with each other, but we must always remember that what unites us is stronger than what separates us. We must always end the service aware of the love that we have for each other.
In being you, it's the second principle today. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations points us towards something beyond inherent worth and dignity. It points us to a larger community. It gets at collective responsibility. It reminds us that treating people as human beings is not simply something we do one-on-one, but something that has systemic implications and can inform our entire cultural way of being. Compassion is something that we can easily act on individually. We can demonstrate openness, give people respect, treat people with kindness on our own. But we need one another to achieve equity and justice. Justice, equity, and compassion are all a part of the same package. Just as the same principle overlaps with the first, so it is related to the seventh principle, the interdependent web of all existence. Reverend Emily Gage, Unity Temple, Chicago. Today's opening words are number 656, Harvest of Gratitude. Once more the fields have ripened to harvest, and the fruitful earth has fulfilled the promise of spring.
The work of those who labor has been rewarded. They have sown and reaped, planted and gathered.
How rich and beautiful is the bounty gathered, the golden grain and the clustered corn, the grapes of purple and green.
The crimson apples and yellow pears, and all the colors of orchard and garden, vineyard and field.
Season follows after season, after winter the spring, after summer the harvest-laden autumn.
From bud to blossom, from flower to fruit, from seed to bud again, the beauty of earth unfolds.
From the harvest of the soil, we are given occasion to garner a harvest of the heart and mind.
A harvest of resolve to be careful stewards of all life's gifts and opportunities.
A harvest of reverence for the wondrous power and life at work in things that grow and in the soul.
A harvest of gratitude for every good which we enjoy, and of fellowship for all who are sustained by earth's beauty.
Percival Chubb.
We gather together in joyful thanksgiving, acclaiming creation whose bounty we share. Both sorrow and gladness we find now in our living. We sing a hymn of praise.
Transitional words are number 543. Winter. Let us not wish away the winter. It is a season to itself, not simply the way to spring.
When trees rest, growing no leaves, gathering no light, they let in sky and trace themselves delicately against dawns and sunsets.
The clarity and brilliance of the winter sky delight. The loom of fog softens edges, lulls the eyes and ears of the quiet, awakens by risk the unquiet. A low, dark sky can snow, emblem of individuality, liberality, and aggregate power. Snow invites to contemplation and to sport.
Winter is a table set with ice and starlight.
Winter dark tends to warm light, fire and candle. Winter cold to hugs and huddles. Winter wants to gifts and sharing. Winter danger to visions, plans, and common endeavoring. And the zest of narrow escapes. Winter tedium to merrymaking.
Let us therefore praise winter, rich in beauty, challenge, and pregnant negativities.
Greta Crosby. Today's speaker is Doddie Stone, whom we all know and love. And
in time of waiting, 2020. We are coming into the time of Advent in the Christian calendar. The word Advent literally means to come. Specifically, it refers to the coming of a Savior or Messiah as foretold in the Jewish scriptures. And the celebration of Advent also becomes a time of personal reflection that continues until Christmas Eve with remembrance of the coming of Jesus into the world as a tiny baby. It's no coincidence that the celebration of waiting and preparing comes at this time of year. The early church fathers established the dates we use, and this dark season was probably chosen as an attempt to replace the worship practices of those who honored the ancient traditions by celebrating the rites of darkness and light as the world turned to begin a cycle of longer days. In many churches, as a reminder of the days growing nearer to Christmas Eve, a special candle is lighted in a wreath of fresh greenery for 4 Sundays, beginning on the first day of Advent. Children have their own form of counting the days with the Advent calendar and its many doors to open. But for most of them, the countdown is more about Santa Claus and modern traditions than stories of a baby boy born in a stable that would somehow be both human and divine and have the capability of saving the world. So what about us sitting here in this room? Why do we note the time of Advent if we are inclined to disbelieve in the teachings of a divine figure made human or a human figure made divine? What draws us into the festivities of the holiday season? We may approach this season with a somewhat different understanding than those whose faith is more Christ-centered, yet we encounter the same issues this season by its very nature thrust upon us. This is the season of waiting in all traditions, whether for Hanukkah or the sun to bring longer days, for Santa Claus and presents, parties and decorated trees, or celebrating the birth of a tiny baby 2,000 years ago, or waiting for a chance to be with loved ones. We wait. Especially we wait this season for the end of a time we've never known before in our lifetime, a time when the personal losses of family and friends and countless thousands continues to overwhelm us with each news report. We wait and we mask. We isolate and we hope that the news of possible vaccines will bring an end to this mysterious disease. We long for the days when we were able to be part of the holiday bustle and the magic of a different time and season, when we got caught in the frenzy of preparation of delight for family and friends. Remember when you told yourself, I'd better do some shopping, wrap my presents, send out some cards, at least to people who sent me cards last year, do some more shopping, decorate my house, buy a tree, decorate a tree, more shopping for holiday foods, bake special treats, go to a party, have a party, recover from a party, more shopping. Don't get me wrong. I know when done in a good frame of mind, many of the things I mentioned are entirely enjoyable. The wonderful ritual of baking special foods at this time of year, sharing with friends you really enjoy, filling the yard and the roof with twinkling lights, decorating the inside of your house with all the glitz and glitter and the evergreens you can fit into every room. I wholeheartedly support and participate in these celebratory aspects of this season that truly evoke joy and good cheer. But this year, it's different. What can we do besides Zoom and online shop and miss the familiarity of how we've always done it? How can we enter into this time of year in ways that will make our lives and the lives of those we touch richer and filled with more love? We can begin by remembering that this is a season of reflection that goes beyond worrying about the virus getting us or those that we love. We can begin by remembering that Advent is a season of love. Advent is an opportunity to immerse ourselves in love. Our journey towards celebrating the birth of a baby of long ago is essentially an experience in wonder, reflected in the love that comes to us and is capable of reflecting through us to those we know and those we have yet to meet. Jesus is often referred to as the light of the world, or as an old hymn says, love eternal, joy of heaven to earth come down. And the days of Advent find us looking towards the coming of light to bring hope and joy when we have become discouraged or skeptical in a world that sometimes seems to lose meaning for us. If we give ourselves opportunities to pause as we move through the days of December, we can feel renewal of hope. We may do well to follow the wisdom of Christianity when it speaks of using this season as a time to prepare our hearts. We may not imagine that we're preparing our hearts for the coming of Christ, but we may find in this season an opening for compassion. Advent is a season of compassion that springs from love. Compassion gives meaning to life, and as we attempt to stop hearts from breaking, as we bring comfort to those in pain, as we express reverence to all creation, as we are kind to ourselves as well as others, we experience the heart of others in our own hearts. And we find compassion for the human condition, which includes ourselves, as well as those we reach out to embrace in spirit, if not in direct contact. Advent can become a way to reveal the truths while we wait. The season of darkness beckons us towards a journey into our souls. And if we find ourselves and allow ourselves to periodically pause, we might find ourselves in conversation with the stillness inside the darkness, engaged in a dialogue with ourselves. We may come to understand ourselves better and be more forgiving of human imperfections. We can use this extra time of staying home while we have the extra time. Because we allow ourselves to be soft and vulnerable to one another, we give more than our time, our money, our energy than any other season of the year. And from our giving, we may discover a new truth. Giving and receiving come from the same open hand. The flow between learning how to give and how to receive makes us one in spirit and intent. We may discover another truth as we take care of ourselves and stay home. We may discover that the best parts of our childhood can be experienced once more. Those times when we were delighted and surprised, full of wonder and joy over the unexpected. The season of waiting continues to teach us. We realize how much we want to love, and we want to be loved, and we still want to believe. Maybe not exactly the same beliefs of our childhood, but with new understanding and faith. Faith in the discoveries of each day and the wonder that we are still alive to enjoy these discoveries. Advent becomes an opportunity for rekindling of our faith, and we discover that the holy can be seen again and again in every face. We see the light return to the earth when we look into the eyes of another human being, and as they look at us, we see ourselves reflected back. We are able to see that divine spark of light that's in all creation. That reflection within all creation deepens our faith, and as our faith deepens, so does our joy in life, and so as our joy increases, so does our faith. The light at the end of Advent will come. It always has, and it always will, no matter what we do or don't believe. The light will come. We will discover new answers and find joy in the life that we have been allowed to continue. The long nights will end, and spring will yet return, as it always has, bringing new hopes. So in this season of Advent, let us try what may be a different approach for some of us. Let us pause occasionally and ask ourselves, what is waiting to be born in my life? What is yet to come? How will I come forward, come out, come into, come towards something new as the light returns again? Each Advent is a gift to remind us that we live between the past and the future, and the season of Advent gives us another chance to remember that we have the opportunity to help bring light back into the world, the light of hope and possibility for everyone. Reverend Howard Thurman captured the spirit of Advent when he said, "It is the promise of tomorrow at the close of every day, the movement of life in defiance of death, and the assurance that life is sturdier than hate, that right is more confident than wrong, that good is more permanent than evil." Just remember to take time to be quiet and reflective of all your blessings and abundance compared to many in this world. Then, if you are asked by a co-worker or a friend, Why do Unitarian Universalists celebrate Christmas? You can respond quite simply, so that we may better love. How will you use this time of waiting? And what are you waiting for? Not only in the season of Advent, but every day.
Thank you, Doddie. Today's closing hymn is number 224.
Let Christmas come, its story told, when days are short and winds are cold. Let Christmas come, its lovely song, when evening soon and night is long. Let Christmas come, its great star glow, on quiet city parks of snow. Let Christmas come, its table gleam, love born again, the truth of dream.
Today's closing words are number 692. If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another, that they may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. Go in peace. Laurelyn Bellamy.